Hustle all day long, ride the wave so strong. Driving through the night, gotta keep it tight. Apps keeping it loud, scrolling through the crowd. Every road I find, leaving doubt behind. Getting rational about this gig life, finding balance in the daily strife.
All right, what is going on, guys? Rational Gig Driver here today, and we have a very special video today. Many of you might be wondering, or maybe none of you were wondering, but some of you might be wondering,
feet, turn
man,
left onto West
the new
Virginia
Pixel
901.
9 Pro Fold just came out. Sounds like a really cool phone, but the Rational Gig Driver speaks so highly of the Z Folds. Should I buy a Z Fold 6 or should I buy a Pixel 9 Pro
At the light,
Fold?
turn left onto
It's
West
mouthful.
Virginia 901.
And I'm going to try to help add a little bit into that discussion because yesterday, I got a
Continue
very
on West Virginia
special
901,
package in the
1
mail.
mile.
I got a Z Fold, or not a Z Fold, a Pixel Fold. Yes, I went and I traded my Fold 8 Pro, and I took the leaf and I said, you know what? I'm going to go into the Pixel Fold. I skipped the first Pixel Fold. Didn't go into that. However, this time it's different because I've heard so much about this device. The size, the thinness, and one stat really grabbed my attention. That is 16 gigabytes of RAM. And I'm like, whoa, that means we got a multitasking beast. Now the question is, does the software support, and this is going to, it's like you can't get perfect in any world, right? Does the software live up to the hardware in this instance and what they have behind it? Now, it's known that the Tensor 4 chip, which is the chip that's running this phone, is definitely not at the level of the Snapdragon Gen 3. So you're giving something up there while you have 16 gigabytes of RAM in this device versus 12 gigabytes of RAM in the Z Fold 6. Now, I love the Z Fold 6. It's become my daily driver again. I've tried to use other phones, and I'm like, I love it so much. Like, it is the build quality, the way it's built. I think the size is perfect.
In a quarter
So
mile,
it's going to
turn
take
right
a
onto
lot.
Serena Drive.
I mean, a lot to move me off of this as my daily driver. And then, you know, the good news is I've got space for both because my Pixel Fold runs off of Verizon and my Z Fold 6 runs off of AT&T. So anticipating
Take the next right onto
that I
Serena
would love
Drive.
both, I wanted to make sure I had space for both because I'm always going to have three phones. I'm going to have my Verizon phone, my AT&T phone, and my T-Mobile.
In a quarter
And my
mile,
iPhone
turn
is my
left onto
T-Mobile phone.
Otero Lane.
That's my personal device. And then I'm going to have two business devices that can access the networks. So that way, if I get trapped somewhere or I'm somewhere else, I can have it. But I figured, why not get us something really fun to play with and check out and see if Google has risen to the level of the Z Fold, because there's a lot of hype right now about it. There's a lot of good things about it. But the question is, listen, those are for people that are using it for totally different reasons. This is going to be today. I'm gonna do a little ride along. It's gonna be a lengthy one because these are lengthy. Like I said, I don't cater to the YouTube algorithm. I cater to the driver algorithm. So I'm gonna get knee deep into this phone today. We're already on. It's already
Take the
blessed
next
me with a
left onto Otero
$26 Spark order. You might be hearing my GPS, and right now it's actually pretty good. Although I don't know what happened to my screen. Somehow I don't know if
1,000 feet, turn
there
right
must be
onto
something
Valley
set up
Drive.
maybe with a back tap or something. I don't know, because all of a sudden, I know what it was. I clicked into a Grubhub order. That's why I lost it. But anyways, so far so good. I'm going to give you some thoughts. we'll get to that after we do this delivery. But we're going to do it all around our deliveries. I'm going to take some time when we're stopping and talk to you guys. So anyways, right now we got to go do a delivery. This will be the first delivery I've ever done
Take the
with
next
the
right
Z,
onto
with the,
Valley
I keep
Drive.
calling it the Z Fold, with the Pixel 9 Pro Fold. My God, that's a mouthful. So I'll be back to tell you about that. All right, guys, I want to give you guys a little bird's eye view of the setup here. So that is the Z Fold. That is the
Take the
competitor
second
here.
right onto
And
Serena
we'll be
Drive.
doing some discussions about comparisons and looking. You can see the setup. Now, this is my non-MagSafe required mount that I use because sometimes I want to use the Z Fold without my case.
In a quarter mile, turn
And
right
there,
on West Virginia
and
901
that
West.
allows me to do so. Now, this, of course, is, as you can see, I have a MagSafe case for my Z Fold. It's actually, I got it off of Temu, actually. It's supposed to be an Aramid. I mean, it was only, I think, $10. So it's actually pretty good for a $10 case. I wanted to try it out. My son was always trying to get me to get Temu stuff. So I said, oh, I'll try it. I'll get the Z Fold case. Anyways, got it for $10. And then, of course, Temu just blows my phone up now with all sorts of alleged offers and things. But anyways, this is the setup. So normally Z Fold 6 is sitting right here. And then normally there's my personal device sitting over here controlling the music, anything I'm listening to. And then you guys are normally right up there. That's my setup. That's how I kind of have it, or right here, one or the other. But anyways, so you can see this is, I mean, this is a very, the first thing that's going to strike you is how thin this device is. And you're going to notice there's no under camera or under the screen camera on this. So, you know, interesting stuff. But anyways, we're not going to drive and get too deep into the device, but I just want to show you the setup here. And I'll show you the split screen. This is the extent of the multitasking on this device. We'll talk a little bit more. Let me get you all set up. All right, good people and friends out there. Rational Geek Driver back here. We got that first delivery done. I want to talk about the first delivery. I want to talk about how it went. I want to talk about some things that I'm going to notice right off the bat using a Pixel device. I noticed this when I used my Pixel 8 Pro. The smoothness of the operating system, the lack of glitches. So one thing I can conclude is some of the rough marks that I attribute to Android might be to Samsung and just simply their implementation of One UI, of their One UI skin over top of the Android operating system. No issue whatsoever here flipping, and that's what's really nice about this. Literally going one of the areas that when you're closing up, because it's not built into the operating system where you go from, you know, close to the front of the screen. That's not something that on Z Folds yet. It's a good lock thing you have to add in in like the labs, but it's not yet officially a feature. So that's kind of the confusing part about Samsung is,
left to stay on West
you know,
Virginia
when you're
901
comparing a Z Fold, if you look at the Z Fold and you say just a feature set that Samsung says these are the features that are ready, right? It's not going to be as impressive until you add the Good Lock app in. And a lot of people are confused what the Good Lock app is. The Good Lock app is basically, call it a mod app, right? It'll let you mod the phone, but it lets you do things to the phone that are not considered to be. It's kind of like, I remember when you would jailbreak an iPhone, but it's a legal jailbreak of a Samsung
Continue
device.
on West Virginia
And
901 West for 3 miles.
It's neat. You know, it's cool that they let you do that because basically it lets you do all these really neat, cool things to a Samsung device. It lets you add gestures. It lets you modify your pop-up screens. It lets you do a lot more. It lets you add functionality to buttons and swipes. And that, to me, is what makes the Samsung devices stand out among all other Android devices, even though there's maybe some rough edges that you've got to learn to live with, but the rough edges and against what you gain, I can already tell just the functionality that the way I'm having to live on this. It's really simple when I can swipe something or I want to look at a screenshot and I can swipe up, and I'm looking to do that here on the Pixel and I can't do it. I wouldn't be able to do those things on a normal Z Fold if they didn't provide the Good Lock app. So in fairness, you know, the limitations exist. It's just Samsung gives you a back end into modifying your device So whether it's fair to include that in a head-to-head or not, I don't know, because I'm sure they're, technically speaking, Pixel, if they wanted to allow you to do those things, they could provide you with the same backdoor to your phone to let you kind of modify some things. And I think Samsung chooses to do it in a way that they have control over what you're doing. And so it's like they're working on the Good Lock app and doing that. So that's one very big difference. And unfortunately, I think the more you have going on with the Good Lock app, sometimes it causes instability with other stuff. It causes glitches, it causes stutters, it causes things that happen. But the point of me talking about this is that what I noticed in doing that first delivery is how smooth everything was. I went, I did my swipe through everything, no problems whatsoever. Closed the phone up, put it in my back pocket, and opened up when I get to the front door. Of course, the gentleman's there waiting for me, so I didn't have to take pictures. So I had Mark hand it to me, and it took a picture of the house, as it tells you to do in the app. And it was all done really smooth. There was no need to force close an app or restart an app. It just closed the phone, opened it up. Thumbprint is extremely fast, and boom, went right into my workflow to get out of the order. Now, that is a testament to the fact that I think this is obviously being put out by Google which is the godfather of the Android platform. So, you would have that expectation that this is going to run really smooth and really, really good, that this is not, they're not having to create an operating system over top of an operating system like Samsung is. So in all fairness, Google has that advantage. So very smooth, very nice, but again, it's an adjustment. The hardware is beautiful, though, honestly. Now, the one thing I will notice is this is catching a lot more glare, even though it's 2,700 nits of brightness on this screen. Perhaps I don't have it jacked up to as high as it needs to go. I know sometimes you got to, like on Samsung, you got to change the stuff to get it there. But I notice even in the car where it's positioned, if I come around some things, it actually can become a little hard and a little hard to see. It's very reflective. So that I don't like. It reminds me kind of earlier Z Folds. The Z Fold 6 has taken care of a lot of that, in a sense, in the middle screen. I don't know what they did to the screens, but it looks a lot better. Now, of course, the king right now, in my opinion, of devices, which is a whole nother story, is the S24 Ultra. That device is incredible in the sun. That device is the most incredible device out here. When you put it up, I can see it at any angle. I can have direct sunlight blaring down on it, and I can still see it fine, and there's no issues. But this, if I'm out on a really sunny day, I'm still going to have a problem, I think, seeing some of the order details, things of that nature, which is a small gripe, but it's just something to note when you're comparing the two devices. Anyways, so that's the first delivery. That's the first thing that we've done on that. I'm going to go over other stuff. Like I said, I'm doing this review out here in the field. It's a gig phone review. It's not meant to go over the specs of the phone, although we're going to talk some specs, but it's meant to trigger, as I'm going through here, to talk to you about my use and just document my use, my first use of this phone out here in the gig world, out here in the wild, and go over it. And I'm going to post it up to you and tell you in comparison to the Z Fold 6 what I think about it. Now, you may say, Steve, you never put up the Z Fold 6. You didn't do this on the first day you got it. Well, because the Z Fold 6 is not, that would be more of a phone review, right? And this is not a phone review channel, because my workflow is the same as it was when I posted for the Z Fold 4, which I said was a very good phone. Same with the S24. There's been nothing that's changed in my workflow necessarily that I would say, let me go through, that's going to change from what I told you with the S23 or the S24. So that really is more of a perspective video to say, well, what are the differences? I guess I could do that. But if this goes well, I might very well do that as I get new phones, because I do. I have a whole fleet of phones, and I will from time to time update those as they become available. And I've got several other phones. So if there's one, I'm going to go over what I've got. If there's one you want to see, you're curious about buying, hell, I'll go out and do exactly what you see here. Take you out and just discuss how I use it and document it. Anyways, with that said, guys, we're coming up on our next delivery. So I'll see you guys in a minute. All right, good people. We have finished that first drop off, or that first order, I guess I should say, using our Pixel Pro 9 Fold. What a mouthful that is every time I say it. It's definitely not the smoothest name that they ever came up with. But anyways, we are done with it. We are finished. We made $26 on our first inaugural offer or inaugural order. Now, we are not active. We do not have a schedule with DoorDash today, as many of you might know from previous videos and lives. I'm no longer platinum status. And today, we missed the opportunity to schedule, and it is a hole. We'll see if we can get any traction or opportunity at lunch to get on with DoorDash. If we don't, we don't. So the main focus right now, my goal is $120 before 2 o'clock. Normally, I would be wildly confident I could do that, but I don't know. Lately here, it's been a little bit slow. All right, so Uber is coming through with an order for Panda Express, wanting us to go all the way to Ranson, West Virginia. And we are going to promptly turn that down. Now, one other thing that I want to let you know, I just thought of, this is why I like to do these reviews, phone reviews, in the moment, right? Have it running and just experience things. The one issue with the Pixel, now, the Pixel Pro, the positioning of the buttons, it was not a big deal. On this device, it's a struggle to get a screenshot. Now, this is, again, another Samsung thing where Samsung will allow you to modify your power button. So all you got to do is press it. It screenshots it. You can also get a swipe. Boom. Now, there's a back tap function. But if you have your phone in a case, I've got to figure out how to turn it on. I know there's a back tap function. Perhaps that's my answer. Then I can just tap that, boom, twice because of the way it hangs out of this case here. Maybe that's going to be the option. I don't know. But right now, that is a real problem collecting screenshots if you're not going to use something like Maximo. Now, for DoorDash, it's not a problem because DoorDash screenshots are taken care of for Driver Utility Helper. But currently, right now, screenshots aren't possible for Uber on Maximo. And then for Grubhub, they are. But, I mean, until we get it all worked out with whatever's going on there with what these apps are doing to prevent apps like Maximo, Driver Utility Helper to work, I'm not using Maximo because I'm not going to pay $5 a month just to get one app. You know, that doesn't give me a tremendous amount of volume. Now, let's see here. It looks like I'm getting the other thing that seems to be going on here is the face unlock is very slow. I'm looking at this. I have face unlock set up, and it's making me do my finger, right? Which is fine, but it's like if I was on my iPhone, that's one of the nice things about my iPhone, and one of the nice things about my Z Fold is I can just look at the device where it's positioned, and I'm unlocked, and I just swipe up and go right into the app if I'm notified. In this case, that didn't happen. So, you know, there's a little slowness. Just be aware. Maybe I need to add a couple of extra pictures in, or, you know, I know obviously the king of the face unlock is iPhone. That's why they had to develop a dynamic island to make use of the area that they needed for the cameras. But we're now on the hunt for another order. So I made the decision to go to the closest Walmart. The closest Walmart is the one on the other end of town. This is the one that I said has like an overlord that sits in the parking lot, and I've watched and observed this guy, like, he's got drivers, and I've watched him switch phones out. It's unbelievable. And again, I had heard about this, and then I'm watching this whole thing unfold, and, you know, I don't know. It's very difficult sometimes to get orders at this Walmart. Not impossible. I've gotten them, but it just seems like stuff's going on here that is a little nefarious. There's also issues with checking in, where in certain areas of the parking lot, you can't check in the apps. It blocks your location, and then you move to another part of the parking lot. I have to go to one particular part when I get a shop in this Walmart. It's very weird. I don't know if it's the app. I don't know if somebody's doing something like you hear the rumors, but there's something amiss at this Walmart. Now, I go to the other Walmart. You pull up on it out in the middle of the street, and I can check in. There's no problem. There's no dead spots. There's no nothing. So, like I said, you don't see any of that business going on at the other Walmart. So I tend to like to stay at that Walmart, but it's not always busy. This Walmart is busier, which is probably why these people are there at this one, because this one services a greater amount of the county. And it's just a busier, higher volume Walmart, which is, like I said. Anyways, we're heading there now and heading in that direction. Now, another thing I want you to know right now, because this just came in the mail yesterday, I had a case on Amazon and it got delayed till the end of the month. I said, I can't do that. So I actually went on and I bought a Google case, because right now I'm going cases. I don't like doing that because, one drop away from your $1,800 device that it was kaput, and we don't want that. And I've got a screen protector coming, but they're not going to be here. I guess today is the 4th. They're not going to be here until almost the 15th. So that was the earliest that they would be here. Between the 11th and the 15th is what's being said. Why these delays are happening, I have no idea. So I'm trying to take care of them as best as I can, be extra careful. And here it is. Spark has 2 drop-offs, $10, 10.5 miles. That's the one they keep wanting me to do. I'm going to keep turning it down. And we're going to get positioned up here and see if we can maybe get a Grubhub or an Uber or something like that. That'd be exceptionally nice at this point. But I think what we'll do is when we get parked, I'm going to go into talking more about the comparison. We'll do a little comparison while we wait for an order to come. Maybe an order will come while we're talking. But we'll get parked here, and I'll talk to you guys in a minute. All right, guys. So look, I'm going to do a little figure while we're waiting here, do a little breakdown here, just kind of show you some things about the phone. So first off, this is kind of the setup. As I mentioned, I don't have MagSafe on. Obviously, there's no MagSafes, magnets inside Android phones. So the only way you're going to be able to get MagSafe is if you're able to get a case with it. So my Z Fold here has that case. Now you can see here the case. This is a case, as I mentioned, off Temu. It's a very nice case for $10. I mean, really, you can't beat it. It's got MagSafe in it. It's not the strongest MagSafe magnet. That would be one complaint about it. But I have a front screen protector on, and then it doesn't have anything on the front one here. It's just a back. It's supposed to mimic, I think, the Pitaka case. But the nice part it does have is hinge protection. And I kind of like this because they kind of bring it up so it perfectly levels. But anyways, this is the Z Fold, right? And you can see how this fits in my hand. I personally like. I mean, a lot of people complain that it's not wide enough. I think it's perfect because it fits in my hand. It's great for one-handed. And, of course, when you set the swipes up, it really works nice. Now, we got to whoop. All right, so we're going to take that out, post-editing. Anyways, so now this is the Pixel. All right, so obviously you can see it's a little bit it's bigger. I mean, when you look at the two together, you can see that the screen is got a much larger footprint. It's the same size as the Pixel Pro. And we're going to do a little overhead view here of this. So you can see now what I was talking about when it comes to the brightness factor. Let's see here. There we go. So there's a couple things here. So on the front screen, you can see this is a very, I mean, look, this is a device you could literally not have to open it up. So the way I would see this to me being used, or the way I'm going to use it is, when I'm searching for orders and stuff, there isn't an ability to have more than two screens up at one time. So there's really not a lot of need necessarily to open it up until you're on an order. And then you have a nice big vibrant screen for your navigation apps, in having the ability to navigate. And then of course, the other big time that you're going to want to use it would be when you're multi-apping, meaning you're using two apps at one time. And we obviously haven't had that happen yet. This is the first day we're using it. Maybe it'll happen later today. But we'll have to see. But you can see here that This is a screen here that's got all my apps. So it's kind of a different workflow because the Z Fold is a totally different workflow. I have swipes, I have bubbles. I mean, look, this is where kind of the rubber meets the road between these two. Because what do I mean? So let me give a demonstration here. Let's just look at the setup here I have on my Z Fold. I have my little bar here, but watch what I can do here. That sets me for screen recording. There's my DoorDash app. There's my Uber app. There's my Grubhub app. There's my Spark app. Minimize, minimize, minimize. Now when I want to pop in and check, there it is. And if I have something like Driver Utility Helper on, Driver Utility Helper will trigger it right out. And again, this is just in the 2 candy bar modes, right? Not to mention that I can open this up and have 3 apps up on my screen at one time. Now, again, there's a caveat with that because sometimes the apps don't perform. They get a little weird. Samsung still hasn't mastered it yet to where I can have the 3 apps up and they always perform correctly. But for the most part, it works. But I can have 3 apps up and then I can have up to 7 apps floating. So I can have 10 apps running on my Samsung. All right, over here, more of an iPhone setup. Basically, on this screen here, I can go in. Now, this is more of the way I set my iPhone up. I have a work mode that has a screen like this, and I basically just go in and out. Now, what I've done down here is I've chosen to not put anything on my bar because this is something that Samsung doesn't have. Maybe it's a mode I can get. I don't know. Maybe I can turn it on. But these are previous apps that were open. So this gives me my last 4 apps that I opened up and that I've used. So these are my most frequently used apps and I can go in and pop in. So it's kind of a different way of multitasking because as I'm using the phone, it's going to know what I was using. It's going to have those available to me. So I consider it like a smart bar, right? As opposed to me putting things down here, I kind of have a smart bar that I can use. So, but the maximum that I'm going to be able to do at any given time is, I'm going to go right here to, open up, and again, this is the front screen. I'm going to show you there's a difference. And this is kind of something you want to understand about the difference between these 2 foldables. This phone, you can do everything you can do on the front screen as you can when it's open. This has 2 different modes. This is candy bar. You're restricted on this mode. You're not, and you're going to see some of the things you can do once you open it up. So I go split screen. There it is. This is the extent of multitasking. And you can't even flip the 2, at least to my knowledge. You can move the screen, and it does a pretty good job, although it kind of makes it a little strange down here. You can see how it kind of almost puts it into like a keyhole when it gets small. And it does the same thing up there. But it keeps the 2 right here. You can see you can interact. You see that it's fully interactive. Switch in here, trips. Got it. There it is. Home. You know, you can see that the apps are fully functional, fully working within the bar. But that is the extent of multiple app multitasking on this device. Now, kind of watch this. Give me a moment here. All right, so I opened that up. Y'all didn't get to see the open, but I opened it. I didn't have to do anything to it. This is a really smooth part. And it went right away to that to 2 apps next to each other. Now you can see right here, obviously this is actually good news. We've got Samsung. Now, there's additional functionality once you open it. If you open up, you press up. Now that's the bar right here. That this is a search bar, and it's kind of a light press. If you hold on here, you can always have the taskbar display. Now you can come in here and you can go, okay, split screen. It's going to replace out the split screen on that side, so you can see right in there. And then we're going to go up here and just go, let's split screen. There it is. You can also go down here and say split screen. There it is. So this, again, is the extent of the multitasking. Now, let me show you the other strangeness that we have here. Because, watch, when you change the orientation of the phone, there are some requirements that it keeps you in, which is a little bit different than, like I said, you have a completely wide open experience over on Z Fold. But let me show you this. All right, so all I did was change the orientation. I didn't touch anything. There's no special buttons in it. And this is the orientation it requires you to be in. So while on the Z Fold, I can actually turn it over and you would just see the two apps side by side, and you press this little button in the middle and it's going to let you change. There's no ability to do any of that on here, right? So again, and as you can see, it actually changed the orientation of this app up here. So it kind of made it a little bit, there it is, to where it's that keyhole. It's a bigger version of the keyhole. Again, if you're looking to get the difference between the two, there's $100 difference between these two. You know, and you're saying Google or Samsung. Samsung is miles out. If you want to get into a foldable and you're getting it for gig work, this is the Supremo device to get. It just is. Look, Pixel has made headway. I love the way this feels. It's super thin. It's thinner than this device. It feels like when you are in candy bar mode, it feels like a regular phone. It does not feel like a foldable at all. Now, you look at it, you know it's a foldable, but that's how thin it is. It feels like a regular Pixel phone. It is as thin as a regular Pixel phone. I mean, it's actually, I think, a little thicker, but it's the minimus to even be able to tell. But over here, this device has a much more robust and much more special foldable experience. And I'll get into some of that. Give me one moment. All right, guys. So I have the Z Fold up here in main position here. I'm going to show you guys a few things on this just to demonstrate to you what I'm talking about with this device. So watch this. So we do this here. We're going to go, okay, full screen. And I'm going to open this up. Now, some of these are going to pop up, I think. Yeah, we're going to have to change them. So you can see here, now we're going to go in the split screen. Now watch. I can change the orientation of the split screen. Boom. I can change the sides of the split screen of my apps, which is important because this is all seconds of things that you have to do, which is you're very limited over here. Now, I want to put my third app in here. Hold on there. I got to double check here. We make sure we're not getting something, missing something here. So here we go. So we're going to do the third app. So there you can see there's 3 apps now running. I can reposition them. I can make this one smaller. I can make these bigger. I can move around. Look, this is, like I said, completely robust. And on top of that, I've got Grubhub up here. Okay. And then I've got, now watch, Shipt, Instacart. Not to mention I can have also my Google Sheets apps right there. Now, when I turn, whoops, I gotta flip this. I apologize. I had it in charge and I figured why not get a little charge. So when I turn the sides, as you can see, this just turns with it, right? Everything stays the same. I want to have app next to each other. There it is. There it is. I mean, look, it doesn't, Google's, obviously made some improvements here, right? And they've got 16 gigabytes of RAM and they've got the Tensor 4 chip. And obviously they're making an opportunity to compete. Obviously they're not making this phone for gig workers, but I'm looking at this from a gig perspective because foldables are very intriguing because of the fact that we need a bigger form factor. We need as many apps as we can have up because in my opinion, and the premise of my whole existence as a gig worker is I need to have as many apps as possible that are vying for my business. So if I can do that all on one device, that's the easiest, safest, and best way for me, as opposed to having 5, 6, 7, 8 devices. And again, if you're somebody who's willing to go and get multiple devices, then when you look at the cost of those devices and you look at the fact that this is, it is $1,700, but this is not just a phone. It's a phone. it's a tablet, it's a desktop computer, right? All in one. And, when you put it all together, this is the ultimate smart pocket phone, not a smart, it's the version of a pocket knife, of smartphones. And for a gig worker, it's fantastic. Now, you put this guy in here, right? And look, I like this device. I think it's absolutely amazing because of its thinness. Like I said, look how thin this is right here. I mean, look how thin that is. And I don't even think it translates, because I've watched some videos on it. It does not translate how thin this is, but it is so thin, it feels like a regular phone. It really does. But the software experience is a problem. I mean, to have all that landscape and to not be doing with it. Well, why Google isn't allowing the same things that Samsung? If you put this device on a Samsung and made this let me tell you something. Samsung would absolutely sell millions of these. I mean, so, Samsung, I like this form factor here, but I think what they need to do with it is maybe expand it a little bit, make it thinner. My understanding, though, is that the S Pen won't work on a thinner device, that there's issues with that. And that's the other factor. This is $100 more, but it has the ability to use the S Pen. No other foldable tablet phone has the ability to use the stylus. And that, I don't have the S Pen with me right now. It's in my bag. I didn't bring my bag with me. But that makes a huge difference. And this right here has no stylus support. But that's not kind of where Google's going with it, because they're going with it like, this is a foldable phone. This is meant to be a candy bar style phone that folds out into a tablet, and you have a tablet and a phone. But, many people say, hey, I would like to, have the ability to write. But Google, I don't believe on their main tablet, has the ability to write on that. They don't have a stylus right now. So for them, it's not an accessory that Google sees in as something that they need for their client base. But anyways, this is the nuts and potatoes and the bolts and everything else. The rest of this review is going to be talking about daily usage and things that come up and things that I think about as I take you along on the ride along. It's 10:30 right now. We've got about we're going to be done at 1:30. So we've got 3 hours left to see how much money we make. We've made $26. Hey, this is similar to 2 days ago when I went at it. Started out with a great order, and then everything just slowed up. We'll see what happens with lunch. Today we have DoorDash. I did get on for DoorDash for a half hour. So I'll be back to talk more about the experience, more things that come up. And, I'm obviously, this guy's going to stay tabled for a little bit, but I'm telling you right now, I'm missing it, but I'm going to continue to give the Google Pixel a try. But if you're going to shell out $1,700, if you're willing to do that, I cannot in good faith tell you that the best deal is the Pixel Fold. It is a great device. It's really cool. But when you look at it feature to feature to feature and what you're trying to do and what you get on a Z Fold versus here, you're night and day. In fact, it makes the Google Pixel phone look overpriced, even though it's only $100 less. I could say you'd make the case that this is a device that should be about maybe $1,400 because of the lack of things that you can do, the things you can do on this device versus this device. This is a pro device. This, not so much. Even though this doesn't have the pro cameras, this doesn't have the ultra cameras, but I understand why Samsung doesn't do that, because this is not the Z Fold Ultra. This is a Z Fold 6, which is meant to be a foldable version of their flagship S series phone. And of course, it doesn't look like the S series phone anymore. It looks more like the Ultra phone, but I think that's because Samsung knows that with the foldable, the best way and the best direction to go with these is to square this thing off. And it looks beautiful. It looks amazing. Anyways, with that said, guys, we're going to conclude this part, and we will hopefully get an order soon, and I'll see you then. All right, good people. We have an order finally. It's 11:29, nearly, I think, I don't know, almost, let's see here. When was the last order completed? It's been a while. So let's see here. It has been since 9:43, so almost 2 hours. We went without an order, and we didn't even get offers. And I was testing to make sure it wasn't like a cell phone issue because I'm using Verizon, not my normal AT&T. Nope, cell phone connectivity is fine. But we got a Best Buy order, 6 miles, $16 and some change, shopping 2 items. So the items that we're going to be shopping, it's an Instacart order. Let's get back to the batch. Let's see here. What are we shopping here? 2-in-1, a Guardian 22-inch tower, 4-in-1 HEPA filter, UVS sanitizer, and odor reduction air purifier. So they're $105 each. And that's what we're going to be going in and shopping and buying. And this is going to give me an opportunity to test out on the new Pixel to see how the digital payments work, because I don't have my Instacart card with me. I left that wallet in my bag. I can't do Uber shops. I think Uber's the only one that I don't have a digital card for. But hopefully there will be no issue using it. Hopefully it will process fine. We're going to find out, but I figured it would be a good opportunity to do that. So we're going to test out the Instacart app on the Pixel. Actually, right now as we speak, it's funny I got that before I was getting ready to go in, and I'm going to go ahead and dash now on DoorDash. So there we are. We're up. Maybe we'll get something on DoorDash. Maybe DoorDash will be the savior today. Maybe they'll hit us with a big order that will help us out. But because we need some help, we're sitting at $26. This $16 will get us to I guess like $42. But we're still a ways away from where we need to be, because, oh man, I'm in the wrong lane. So here comes that challenge. I'm going to have to try to wait here to get over. And of course, I don't know what we're going to do here. Because it's probably going to go green arrow first, and people are going to be like, what the hell? Hopefully it'll go green. It'll be green arrow and green. This lane can start moving, and someone will be gracious enough to let me go. Yeah, so it'll go green. Good. Someone was very nice and did that. I appreciate that very much. Thank you, kind person. But look, this is going to be a good opportunity to test out the new Pixel in the Instacart app. See how smooth that process is. Because every app has a different experience. I know on my Samsung phones there are issues with the DoorDash app that I don't experience with any other app. So we'll find out. But anyways, I will be back to tell you how it goes. We're going to be up here. The Best Buy's right up here. So we're going to get in there, get this shop complete. Hopefully it all goes smooth. We'll be at $42. It's 11:30. It's 6 mile drive out to the customer. I'm assuming we can get this done before 12, which would leave us with an hour and a half. Again, subpar to where I want to be at, but these mornings are definitely. I had talked about going to the Hagerstown market because I wasn't scheduled on DoorDash, and then I got baited into staying by the $26 Spark order. But then Spark just went dead on me. So anyway, up, and here we go. DoorDash is up, $7 Chick-fil-A. So yeah, not feeling that at all. And you know what? My driver utility helper app is off because I'm going to restart that. Yes, make sure it's on and turn screenshots on. There we go. All right. So now we're launched back over there. But nah, that was actually not terrible. $7 for 3.5 miles. If I was down there, I would do it. But I'm up here with a $16 6 mile order. And that's a better order. Shopping 2 items in Best Buy. This is a better situation, I believe, than going 7 for 3.5. I mean, perhaps there could have been a plus sign there. But you know what? Because I don't know what that is, and I have to look at it for face value. That's just what I'm left with. All right, so let's hope we go in here. Let's hope there's no problems using the digital card. We're going to start our shop right now. It looks like we're buying one item, two of one item. So I'll see you guys in a minute. All right, guys. So success, as you can hear, my phone is going off left and right with DoorDash orders. Some have been decent, some of them have been pretty crappy. So you know, a lot of stacks, a lot of low stacks that I'm seeing. But I'm letting the app just run, you know, because I don't want to pause it because I only have 30 minutes on the app. So I'm hoping that we can get to my drop off here pretty quickly. It says we're going to be delivering at 11:55, so we might have the opportunity to get a DoorDash order if something decent comes in. So I'm going to kind of leave it up. It's pretty active. Like I said, pretty surprised at how active it's been. But you know, that's neither here nor there. So experience. Well, first off, this was not a shop. This was actually a pickup, so that was nice. I have had Best Buy shops, and I've also had pickups. This was one where I did not have to worry about using the card. I just went in, they scanned the barcode, and I picked it up, much like you do the grocery delivery at the grocery stores. So that was really nice. App worked really good. Now, the biggest thing right now that I think is really annoying, right, is the multi-apping on this particular device, because it's like on my Samsung, I would just have put DoorDash into a floating widget, and it would have not really disrupted much. It would have popped in, and I would have been able to look, decline, let it go, and it would have been fine. But not so on the Pixel, because the Pixel doesn't have floating widgets, and as a result, it slides in, and it's interfering essentially with my or interfering quite a bit with my workflow. Now that's a really good one, 11.50 for 6 miles. I wouldn't say really good. That's a decent one, but it's Chick-fil-A at the end of the day. So Chick-fil-A down here is just popping off like crazy. But anyways, overall, it was okay. It wasn't bad. Like I said, I didn't get to test out the digital payment system. Normally, I'll be honest with you, Samsung's is terrible. So much so that I keep all my digital cards on my iPhone, and I will bring my iPhone in and use that. I thought, well, this will be a good opportunity to test this out and see what's up. 101 Markley. Okay, so wow, this is a $7 3.8 mile. It's going in the same direction that I'm going to be going, but I'm not inclined to stop and mess around with this because I think I'd rather just go get this delivered and then see what is offered to me from wherever I end up at. But I'll tell you what, I have never been this busy on DoorDash at this time. I mean, I'm getting orders left and right and left and right and left and right. So there must be a shortage of Dashers. Oh, now we got Grubhub in the mix. So let's go to Grubby Hubby and see what's going on with them. Oh, Grubhub, apparently I've been missing orders from Grubhub. So that's not good. That's not good. I don't like that. Oh, $12.99 Chipotle order for 2.4 miles. That's a fantastic order that I actually would have tried to incorporate, but I'm already on the interstate. I'm driving in a different direction. Wow. That was a really superb order. $12.99 for 2 miles. Hats off to Grubhub. Of course, with Grubhub, the main game Grubhub will play is after you decline or say no to a few orders, they're just pretty much ignore you. And whether it's an order flow thing or it's maybe because I'm not on a block, but that's just how Grubhub plays the game. Now, when I'm on a block, I notice I get a lot more action. But again, I'm not a premier driver, so I don't really have access to many good blocks. And most blocks are, not at opportune times. So let's just see if there's any blocks available today. and there is none available today. I think if you know, I think if I'm going to take on a challenge again, then maybe it would be a great challenge to take on with this new Pixel device and just document it with the experience of using this device as I use this. Because I'm going to use this. I'm going to use the Pixel for like a week. I think you just really get a flavor and see if I can adopt the workflow, because you got to learn it. When I first picked up a Samsung, I said, "Oh, I can't deal with this thing," and then I learned it, and then I researched, and then I created an outstanding workflow for myself. But it's so much so that I literally will miss this device so much that I'll want to pick it back up. So we'll see. But I'm going to use this. I'm going to put this through the paces. I want to really give it its due. But yeah, I mean, wow, I'm shocked that I wasn't getting notifications of these Grubhub orders. I mean, they weren't popping up. Oh, that's so weird. Oh, now Spark is in there. All right, so Spark. Here we go. Spark, after a very long lull, comes in with $8.28, a 2-drop-off 10-mile deal. Well, I'm in the crappy algorithm. I've lost all status to Spark, and I do believe it has everything to do with my completion rate. So, it's going to be, and the problem, like I said, when you get on the bad side of Spark when it comes to ratings, and it used to be not as bad, because the way they previously did ratings is it was pretty much like you could just stop using the app for a while, and then like 3-4, I think they were doing a 2-month window or something like that. So I stopped for a couple of weeks, and then some of the bad ratings would fall off, my numbers would go up, and then everything would improve. Well, now they're on a 100 order cycle, and to get 100 Spark orders in my area is tough. And that's where, when these apps start to adopt that type of stuff, that's when you start to get the hamster wheel issue. In other words, where you've got to be, if you run afoul of the rating system and find yourself at the bottom of the ratings, it takes a long time to get back up. And that's just what it is. And then you're going to end up getting the less palatable orders that you have to take to get back up. It becomes harder, because especially when you're taking orders that are like $8.28 for 10 miles, and you're sitting there doing it, and you're like, why am I doing this? Well, I'm doing it because I want to get my completion rate up. So I just need to take orders. But I have to go 100 orders in order to get back to the 11 orders that I've got. So from the 11th order, whenever that was, that I didn't complete, I have 100 orders from there. And I've only done 493 orders, I think. Well, 593, one of the two. I have not done many orders on Spark for a lifetime. So doing 100 orders on Spark may sound easy, but it could take an entire month. I mean, it could. Because there's days I'll do 5 Spark orders in a day. And if I work, if you're doing the math on that, and I do 5 a day, 20 days, it's going to take me a month. So anyways, this is not about that. But the Pixel, so far so good. We'll see how the drop-off experience goes. I'll be back to update you guys, and we'll see if we can get, hopefully, an order from DoorDash. Talk to you soon. All right, guys, Rational Geek Driver here. So I'm wrapping up this video here today. Took me a little while. Didn't get a chance to film the wrap up, but I wanted to film it. I'm actually out doing a little evening work, but I want to wrap up the review video. I had this out. I'm not gonna necessarily document this evening because it's gonna be quick. I made $61 this morning between 8:45 and 2 p.m. So not a great earnings day. Another questionable earnings morning. We started out with a great order. And then once again, the market just couldn't keep up. Now it looks like there's some potential offers out here. It looks like 8 items, 4.4 miles. This is one I might actually do. I'm looking at right here. I like it because it's only like 4 miles, but I've got like $60 I still need to do. I still need to make. I got like $59. So, obviously you got to just attack that incrementally. But this is 8 items, 15 total. Anyways, I'll figure it out. But I want to give you guys my final thoughts on the first shift with the Pixel. I give you this and then this gig phone review here, comparing it to, of course, my daily driver, my normal daily driver, the phone that I've grown to absolutely love, and that's this guy right here, the Z Fold 6. I mean, and it is a phenomenal phone. It's going to be tough, even just to sit here and go, hey, let's go a week without it, because I just love the way, as I mentioned earlier in the video, some of the things that, the Pixel just can't do. And that's just a fact. The Pixel, there are just some things the Pixel's unable to do. It's not able to do it's not able to do certain, it's not able to do the bubble. It's not able to do floating widgets, et cetera, et cetera. And DoorDash is hitting me up with a 689, 4.4 mile, double Little Caesars. So that is garbage. Anyways, but point is, I understood that going in, but there are still aspects that I like about the Pixel. There are ways, as I said, there's the recents bar you can create for yourself. You can either add apps there, or you can just, if you take all the apps out of that bar, it becomes a recents bar. I like that. You've got split screen, so you still got the ability to use it as a powerful multi-apping tool and be able to have, for instance, if you were doing an Uber and a DoorDash order at the same time, you can do exactly what I do with the Z Fold. Now, you can do that with 2 phones as well, but I like the ability, the fact that I can just open this sucker up and boom, there I am. But it can't do 3 apps at one time. It can't do floating widgets. It can't do the swipes. And it creates bottlenecks in the efficiency area without that. Now, from a hardware perspective, if you took this hardware and put the One UI abilities on it, I'm sold. I'm sold 110%. I love it. I love the way they have this laid out. Now, the only thing I will say, though, is something that Samsung's done with this device this year. I don't know if it's the materials. I don't know if it's the way they reinforce this with the boxier design. But for some reason, this device no longer feels delicate to me. It feels like a rugged device that I feel like I don't have to be worried about it's going to break. However, this device, in this device, for the first time, I feel great not having a case on it. I don't feel like there's going to be a problem with it. Now, I'd want that front screen protector just to protect against scratches and stuff. Now, this device, however, I feel like we're back in the Z Fold days when the Z Fold 3 and 4 came out, and I want a case on it. It's very slick. Whatever they're using, I mean, it looks beautiful. Well, it feels slippery. And it makes me feel like I just want a case on it. I'm petrified I'm going to drop this thing. Oh, here we go. 4 stops. 5.6 miles, $22. It's not terrible. I just feel like I need to get down here, though. Sometimes I will take an order like that, but I feel like I need to get down here and see what's going on and just let them develop. 22 for 3 stops. It's not that great of a bargain, right? If that was 32 for 3 stops and I was getting $10 a stop, it's a no-brainer. 22, because that theoretically I have to say is going to take me an hour or around an hour. By the time I get loaded, it wasn't like 1 or 2 items of drop off, so there's going to be some time spent at each drop off. That's, anyways, neither here nor there. Point is, though, is that, from a gig perspective, Samsung Z Fold 6 is still king, 100%. And I don't think that's going to change. I'm going to use it some more. I'm going to keep doing my due diligence. I'm going to see if there's other apps, if there's other things. I'm going to consider maybe going back to my roots and putting the Niagara launcher back on here. Because there are potential ways you can work around, the Pixel launcher, the Pixel software is what I'm using. you can go to other launchers and, you know, they will come with different effects. That's the nice thing about Android is, you know, it's very modifiable, even on its own. And Samsung has just added so many features into it that it makes it like, I don't want to use anything on top of it. I like for gig work and what I use this phone for. Now, with that said, I have other purposes I'm going to repurpose this for besides just having it in the car with me at all times, because I want to have that Verizon line, and that has helped many times having the Verizon phone. It used to be my Pixel 8. At one point, it was a S22. So having that in there, having the ability to have a you know, that extra line in all three lines in the car with me at all times is tremendous. All right, here we go. Now this is one we're going to consider. 4.6 miles, 25 items, 9 items, and 33 items, and it's $26.80. I think we're going to go with this. The other thing, I went ahead and accepted it. The other thing that is absolutely maddening is the ability to do a screenshot. It's really poor on here. And I don't know why. I don't know why Pixel, why it's so bad, but it just is. But anyway, so we're going to go, you know, so now I'm going to do that. That's good news to me. I almost have $30 knocked out. I need 60, and I've got 26 out of my 60. So that's really good. That means I only need about $34. That gives me a lot of hope that we're going to come very, very close to hitting the point that I need to be at. Now, anyways, as I was saying, the point of the matter is that, you know, is that this device is a very, very, very nice device. Okay. And it is exciting to me. I like it. I have another purpose for it, that even if this doesn't become my main gig device, this will always be one of my 3 devices. I have decided the Verizon line is my Pixel line. The AT&T line is my Z Fold line. And then my iPhone line is T-Mobile. And those are my big 3 that I'm bringing in the lineup, and we'll keep in the lineup, and we'll continue to upgrade through each upgrade cycle. Now, I have several other phones. So that's why I said, if you enjoyed this video, if you made it through to the end, if you liked this video and what we did here and how I did this, let me know, because I have, and put it in the comments which one you would like me to do, because I have a whole bunch of phones that I've not done on. My son has my S23 Ultra at school with him. He's using it for stuff that he needs it for. But the array of devices that I have, if you want to see me go out and give a gig review. Now, I have my Z Fold 5 and I have my Z Fold 4. If you want me to kind of do like a, hey, let's check and see how well they're operating, how is it compare up against my Z Fold 6, I can do that. And I'll do it kind of like I did this one, where I'll take it out and I'll just use it and I'll give some reflections on it and just do a live vlog style. Hey, this is what I noticed. This is what I'm seeing as we go, so you can see it and decide, you know, because again, there's several different price points that you can get into a Z Fold device at, and I recommend highly a Z Fold device. Z Fold 4, Z Fold 5, those are all still solid phones, and you can do everything I can do with a Z Fold 6, you can do on a Z Fold 4 or a Z Fold 5 right now. You're just going to give up maybe a little bit of, speed, and so, and of course it's going to be older, so the battery's going to be older, etc. And you're not going to have as many update cycles, because I get 7 update cycles right now on the Z Fold 6. I've also got the Z Flip 6. That's probably the one. That's what I'm filming on right now. But I'd be willing to forego the filming and use that and bring it out, because that is really one that I really have enjoyed using when I've used it for gig work. You know, and then I've got, of course, my S24 Ultra that I can come out and let you guys know how that's doing, how the S24 is faring in 2024. Remember, several years ago when I had the S22 Ultra, I declared that the king for a while, and then I got into the Z Folds deeply and got sold on those. They began performing much better. So, hey, if you're interested, I'll do them. I'll do the videos, and then of course I can also do an iPhone. How do I feel about an iPhone? I've got the 15 Pro Max. I don't know that I'm going to get the 16 this year. I think I'm going to sit out because I don't get I have the free iPhone for life through T-Mobile, but it's every 2 years. I'm not sure. I know they do another version of that where you could get one every year, but I'm not certain my plan qualifies for it. I don't know how much more expensive the plan would be to go up to it, but really I'm not that worried because iPhones, again, having the iPhone 15 Pro Max is going to be the same as the 16 Max. I mean, there's a few variations and differences, but it's quite de minimis in the end. But anyways, so that's where we're going to leave it at. So like I said, great phone. If you're a Pixel fan and Pixel is your vibe, and you don't like the Z Fold and you don't like Samsung, I understand. That's fine. This is a great flip device. Go for it. So anyways, with that said, guys, I'm pulling up. I'm going to get checked in. And until we talk again, stay rational, guys. And, check out the Pixel device. Check out the Z Fold 6. And put in the comments if you have one or if you're considering one. And also let me know, since this is about a gig phone review, let me know what phone you're using for gig work, how you feel about it. And of course, also let me know if there's a review you want to see out of the devices I named that I am owner of. All right, guys, till we talk again, stay rational, and I'll talk to you soon.
Hustle all day long, ride the wave so strong, driving through the night, gotta keep it tight. That's keeping it loud, scrolling through the crowd, every road I find, leaving doubt behind. Getting irrational about this gig life, finding balance in the daily strife. Getting rational about this gig life, finding balance in the daily strife. Hustle.